What is up, internet? Welcome back to Milehighkei, America's laziest K car channel. It's been a very long time since I made a video, so I thought I'd give y'all a quick update on what I've been doing in the garage. So basically, I've been gathering parts in order to assist with the restoration of the van as well as the engine swap. First off, I got this great set of chrome bumper bars and sidebars. So you can see the rear one right here, and it is hiding a little secret that I will get to in a moment. And I got new rear mud flaps that say Honda on them. They're super awesome, but that is a purely aesthetic thing. Again, with the aesthetics, I've been slowly getting rid of all the rust on the exterior of the van. So there was some right here where the rail for the sliding door connects. Took all that off, painted it with some primer, and I've been slowly starting to fill it back in. So this is just all primer, and I will go over and make it all nice and smooth. Another sort of big project that I did was on the sliding door. I painted the door jamb as well as installed these new door catches. The old ones were just all old and cracked, so these are brand new OEM replacements. And then I also repainted and redid the entire inside of the door as well as the door card. So it looks really nice from the inside. As some of you may know, if you have Actys, a lot of the time the door cards are faded, and you can kind of see that on the passenger side door. So this one will need to get the same treatment. So take it off, repaint it, and put some clear coat on it. This door also needs the armrest. On the driver's side door, I have the armrest out of a Acty Street, and I will need to be putting it on this side. And I have some other little trim pieces for that as well. Continuing with aesthetic things, this mess right here, I got rid of all of the rust spots from rocks hitting the front of the van. I took this little stripper and got rid of all of the rust spots. It was pretty bad around the windshield wiper holes. Getting that all smoothed out, I have a big tub of body filler to go over this, make it all nice and smooth, put a new emblem on the front. I got a gold one off of a Honda Odyssey, and I think that's gonna look really great with the final color for the van, which is going to be... And in some mechanical news, I forgot to put the crank positioning sensor on the engine before I installed it. I was starting to run all of the wiring harness in order to incorporate it into the new ECU, and it turns out it's not as simple of just taking the timing belt cover off and replacing it. So what you need to do is you need to take everything off. So basically I need to redo the timing belt because the crank pulley needs to come off, this lower timing belt cover needs to come off, and then the cam gear needs to come off as well because the cam positioning sensor kind of slides in behind it and it kind of attaches like this, and this goes up and to the wiring harness. And also noticing that this one is a little worse for wear. This looks like it has some like JB Weld holding it together. So I'm gonna buy a new one and replace it. Moving on, a big thing that I got going on for the van, because if y'all have been following the channel, you will know that I am turbocharging the van. What does a turbocharger need? It needs an intercooler. I have the intercooler mounted up back here. It just has a bracket going up there to these two 10mm bolts that held on the heat shield for the muffler, and then another one going up to the front there, and it leads the cold side straight up to the intake. I will be getting a new intake plenum made because the stock one just doesn't fit correctly, and I do have to do a lot more cutting than I want to. As soon as that's made, it'll go up there and I'll update you as soon as I get that. Some other small mechanical updates are just I finished up the cooling system for the van. I had made these, well, I didn't make them. I purchased some of these blue hoses from Pegasus, and let me get some light in here. All right, so that's better. So I got the cooling system routed. On the Acty, the water pump is on the timing belt side, but on the Beat, it kind of shoots over with this little tube that I've painted orange to the transmission side of the engine. So I just had to get all this plumbing in there, had to make it out of some straight pieces, some 90-degree bends, some 45-degree bends, etc. So that is all done. While we're down here, the turbo is all plumbed up. This is the drain line, which goes into the oil pan right here. And then right here, we have the sandwich plate for the oil filter. It is a really tight fit right there. So I had to grind down that 90-degree fitting so I could get the oil filter on. A miss is a miss, it works, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. Some other small things that I have is I have some of the fuel lines that will need to be routed into the gas tank, and I also have a new pump as well as a filter right here that I will need to mount somewhere in there. And I also have this little grommet drilled through for the wiring harness. So the ECU is gonna sit in here. It is kind of close to the windshield washer fluid bottle, but I think I'm just gonna make a little kind of wall to separate it off. But it fits nicely in here. It's gonna sit sort of like this, and then the wiring harness kind of takes like a 90-degree angle, and it will go through that grommet into where it needs to go. I just need to figure out which pins go to what on the Beat wiring harness to make sure it matches up to the Max ECU Mini. Then we'll be that much closer to starting the engine. So this is all kind of a lot at once, but I have been doing stuff off camera. I'm trying to think of it all as I go, but a lot of it is just really small stuff here and there that needs to get resolved in order for the engine to work properly. And since this engine wasn't meant for this chassis, the saying that the last 10% of the work takes 90% of the time is reigning true here. Because there's also a lot of little extra hoses that I need to figure out where they go. There's a coolant port over there that I need to circle around and connect down here. And then there's a couple other bungs that need to go places. This is the crankcase vent, and I want it to match up with a catch can with the one on the valve cover. Just a lot of little things that add up that you don't really expect when you take on a project like this. So I think that's gonna be it for this video. It doesn't look like a lot has changed, but trust me, a lot of work has been going on in the background to make sure that the van is as good as it can be. I'm kind of simultaneously getting carried away with the body work with the engine work, so I need to kind of dial back on the body work and make it run first, and then I can focus on the body work later, so where I can get it out of the garage and then paint it and do sanding and body work and all that sort of stuff. Really happy with it so far. It is kind of an arduous process, but hang in there with me and we'll get this project done together. Thanks again for watching. Remember to like and subscribe on the video if you want to keep all this K-car content chugging along. Enough blabbering. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. And until next time, remember, keep it small.